My name is Leo, and I am 65 years old. At my age, a man believes he understands the rhythm of life. You think you know the people closest to you. You think you recognize the signs of trouble before they arrive. But life has a strange way of humbling you. The morning I arrived early at our lake house, I thought I was simply surprising my family. Instead, I walked straight into a moment that would test my heart, my patience, and everything I believed about family. The drive to the lake. The road to our lake house curled through tall pine trees like an old memory refusing to fade. I had driven that road hundreds of times over the past 40 years. Every curve reminded me of something. Claire learning to ride her bike, Helen laughing as the wind tangled her hair, quiet evenings by the water when life felt simple. The lake house wasn't just property. It was a piece of our story. My wife Helen and our daughter Claire had gone there 2 days earlier to prepare the house for summer. I was supposed to arrive later that week. But that morning, I woke up with an unusual feeling. A restless feeling. Something in my chest told me to go now. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was coincidence. Or maybe it was something deeper that I still can't explain. By noon, my truck rolled into the gravel driveway of the lake house. The lake stretched out before me, calm and shining under the sunlight. Everything looked peaceful. Too peaceful. And then I heard it. The sound that stopped me. Crying. Soft, painful sobs drifting through the open window. My heart immediately recognized the voice. Helen. For 42 years, I had rarely heard my wife cry like that. She was a strong woman, steady, patient, the kind of person who held families together when life got messy. Hearing her break like that made my chest tighten. I hurried toward the front door. But before I stepped inside, another sound echoed from the living room. Laughter. And then, pop, the unmistakable sound of a champagne cork bursting free. I froze. Something felt terribly wrong. A strange scene. I slowly stepped closer to the window. Inside the living room stood my daughter Claire. She held a champagne glass in one hand, the bottle in the other. Sunlight poured through the large windows behind her, making the golden liquid sparkle. She raised the glass high in the air. To new beginnings, she said cheerfully. Meanwhile, down the hallway, my wife was crying. My mind struggled to understand what I was seeing. How could celebration and heartbreak exist under the same roof at the same time? I pushed the door open. The first shock. The wooden door creaked softly. Claire turned toward me, her smile freezing instantly. Dad. Her eyes widened. What are you doing here? For a moment, I didn't answer. I just looked at her, the champagne glass, the confident smile that had now turned nervous. Then I asked quietly, "Where's your mother?" Claire hesitated. "She's resting." But at that exact moment, another sob echoed from the hallway. The lie hung in the air between us. I walked past her without another word. Finding Helen. The hallway felt colder than usual. Each step echoed against the wooden floor. When I reached the bedroom, the sight nearly broke my heart. Helen sat on the edge of the bed, her shoulders shaking as she cried into her hands. For a moment I simply stood there, stunned. Then she looked up. Lo! Her eyes filled with surprise. "You're here already." I crossed the room and knelt beside her. "What happened?" I asked softly. She quickly wiped her tears. "It's nothing." But after 42 years together, I knew when my wife was hiding pain. I gently held her hands. "Please tell me the truth." She took a shaky breath. "It's the house." The beginning of the conflict. "The house," I repeated. She nodded slowly. "Claire wants to sell it." I frowned. That makes no sense. Before Helen could continue, a voice came from the doorway. It actually makes perfect sense. Claire stood there, leaning against the frame with her champagne glass. Her tone was calm, almost businesslike. This place is worth millions now, she said. We could sell it and invest the money. For a moment, I thought I had misheard her. Sell the lake house. The place where our entire family history lived. Memories everywhere. I looked around the room. The old wooden dresser Helen had restored 20 years ago. The painting Claire made when she was 8. The quilt Helen's mother had sewn. This house was filled with life. Every board, every nail carried a memory. This house isn't an investment, I said slowly. It's our home. Claire sighed impatiently. Dad, you're being emotional. That word, emotional, stung more than she realized. The shocking revelation. Why are you celebrating? I asked. Claire set her glass on the table. Well, she said casually, because I already listed the property yesterday. The words crashed into the room like thunder. You did what? I spoke with a real estate agent. Helen began crying again. You had no right, she whispered. Claire crossed her arms. I absolutely did. I have power of attorney. My stomach dropped. Months earlier, after surgery, I had signed temporary paperwork allowing Claire to handle certain legal matters. I trusted her. I never imagined she would use it like this. Betrayal. I stared at my daughter. Did you really think this was okay? She avoided my eyes. It's practical. Practical, Helen repeated in disbelief. Then Helen said something that changed everything. This isn't about practicality. Claire stiffened. You're trying to sell the house to cover your debts. The room went silent. The truth comes out. I slowly turned toward Claire. What debts? She looked trapped now. Finally, she whispered. My startup failed. How much do you owe? Her voice trembled. $2 million. The number hit me like a storm wave. 2 million. And her solution was to sell the place that held our family's heart. A father's decision. Claire looked at me desperately. So what do you expect me to do? Just let my life collapse? I took a deep breath. No, I said calmly. But destroying your family isn't the solution. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't know what else to do. You could have trusted us. The long conversation. We talked for hours that afternoon. Not yelling. Not fighting. Talking. Claire admitted she had been terrified. Investors were pressuring her, bills piling up, her dreams collapsing. Fear had pushed her into making terrible choices. By evening, she called the real estate agent and canceled the listing. The champagne bottle sat untouched on the table. Its celebration now felt empty. Sunset at the dock. Later that night, we sat together on the dock. The sun melted into the lake, painting the water gold and crimson. Helen rested her head on my shoulder. Claire sat quietly beside us. For the first time all day, there was peace. After a while, Claire whispered, I'm sorry. I squeezed her hand. Everyone makes mistakes. But trust, I said gently, must always come first. The moral. That day taught us something deeper than money or property. A family is not measured by wealth, houses, or success. It is measured by honesty, loyalty, and the courage to face problems together. When fear enters a heart, it can make even good people make terrible choices. But when a family chooses forgiveness and truth, even the deepest cracks can be repaired. My name is Lo. I am 65 years old, and that strange day at our lake house reminded me of something simple yet powerful. A house can be sold, Money can be lost, but trust in a family is priceless, and once broken, it takes love, patience, and courage to rebuild.